Hi, my name is Kofi Danso. I'm currently the reintegration person at the Ubuntu Learning Community that is based at the University of Stellenbosch, that is in the Western Cape. The Ubuntu Learning Program is a short learning course that humanizes higher education behind bars. It comprises of 20 incarcerated students studying learning on a weekly basis with 20 students from the University of Stellenbosch. The program is a multidisciplinary program, meaning that it comprises of history, law, economics, and English. Once the students have finished the program, they get a certificate from the University of Stellenbosch, which empowers them and encourages them also to continue their learning at higher learning institutions behind bars and also when they come back into society.
You're doing great things, Madiba. I don't want to lie, you're doing great things. To be affiliated with the fellowship, what does it mean to you and what did you learn from it?
This program has changed, revolutionized, and changed the trajectory of my life. Ever since I got involved with INN, my life has never been the same again. I came into contact with Dr. Baz and INN in 2019 when the prison to college pipeline was launched in South Africa officially. She asked me to come sit next to her that day, and I still sit next to her on a daily basis. And life is just not the same. This program has assisted me to continue my studies. This program has helped me to get employment. This program is doing and walking the walk with me on a daily basis. It has empowered me, it has given me back my dignity. And for that, I will always truly be eternally grateful.
And your experience with the 2 weeks that you were involved, I heard that it was an intense 2 weeks.
Oh yes,
yeah.
Yes. The past 2 weeks have been phenomenal, amazing, would be putting it mildly. We spent 10 days in Cape Town, living in the most wonderful, expensive hotel, in spaces that none of us, or very few of us, will be able to afford. But we were there with our fellow brothers. We had the space to heal, to learn, to share ideas, noticing that our struggles are exactly the same as our fellow comrades from the different countries. Different country, different language, but the struggle is the same. It was also, it allowed us to come out of our shell, so to speak, because there was no stigma attached to the space. We were able to learn together, build trust in confidentiality, and share our values and our aspirations for future with our different programs from our different countries.
Kofi, thank you very much. But if we want to get hold of you, where can we get hold of you on your socials?
Oh, I recently got an Instagram account.
I love it.
Yeah, I got it the day before the program started because I also had to be, Fourth Industrial Revolution.
Yes, move with the times.
Yes. You can contact me on my Instagram page. It's Kofi 8.4. And can I give my email address?
Yeah.
My email address is kofi@inationsnetwork.com.
Beautiful. Thank you, Baba Kofi.
Thank you very much.
All right.
My name is Dr. Boz Dreisinger. I am a professor and founder of the Prison to College Pipeline and the founder and executive director of Incarceration Nations Network.
Thank you, Dr. Bez. You are the founder.
I am.
Beautiful. So what inspired you to start this initiative? It's a beautiful one, I might add.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So Incarceration Nations Network, or INN, is driven by building safer communities. And the premise of our work is that prisons do not build safer communities. They are an archaic, outdated approach to safety. They don't work. And so the Global Freedom Fellowship, which is a fellowship that brings a residency that brings formerly incarcerated leaders from around the world to South Africa for 2 weeks, is about nurturing the leadership that is going to move us away from relying on archaic systems of justice and towards a system that actually provides healing and true justice and build safe communities. And so all of the individuals who are part of the fellowship are leaders. They've been in prison. They bring the wisdom of their lived experience. They bring the wisdom of their experience as leaders in the community, in building safer communities, whether through restorative justice, education, working with gangs in various communities, reintegration work for people coming home from prison. They are the hubs of knowledge. And so this is a fellowship that honors their work, that nurtures their work, and allows it to pave the way for the safe communities that we want to live in.
And I see that you have associated or even linked it with the Mandela legacy. Why is that important to you?
So this fellowship has to be in South Africa, will forever be in South Africa, because although there are indeed many countries, including my country, the US, where there has been a legacy of movement building, of organizing by incarcerated individuals, this country's legacy is tremendous in terms of Madiba himself as a formerly incarcerated president, as someone who inspired the world, who inspired our fellows, who in many instances, kept our fellows alive, helped them survive the horrible conditions of prisons all over the world. And so this fellowship is as much about honoring the legacy of South Africa, the legacy of the struggle, the legacy of movement building behind bars here in particular, and the legacy of Madiba as this great inspiration all around the world, as it is about honoring the work of the fellows.
So for someone to be part of the next one, I'm sure you are actually thinking about the next one. So for them, if they want to be part of this fellowship, what is the requirement or the criteria for choosing?
Yes, I'm so happy you asked that question, because we are going to be announcing the call out for next year's, and they should tune into our website, our social media. At Incarceration Nations is our Instagram. We post everything there, and the requirements are being formerly incarcerated, doing incredible work in the community, having an organization that supports you, and folks can learn more about the various requirements when we announce the official open call out in the next month or two.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pez. Where can we get hold of you? Maybe on your socials? Are you on socials?
I am on socials.
Please.
At Boz Dreisinger, at Incarceration Nations.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mtiteleli. I'm an INN team leader and a Global Freedom Fellowship coordinator, project coordinator for South Africa. So I'm based in Cape Town, but I work in all 9 provinces.
What does it mean to be a team leader in Doni that you do as a team leader for this particular organization?
So with INN having offices in New York, that means that here in Cape Town I become a go-to person, especially when we are organizing some events of this nature, and giving support for organizations on the ground, and building some new partners with the organizations, either in Cape Town, Johannesburg, it doesn't matter where in the provinces around. We even go to other SADC countries like Kenya, Uganda, and Zambia. So that's me, that support system.
Okay, Dad, I just want to know about the 2 weeks where you were taking all the fellows through a journey of the whole experience. What was happening? I just want to know what was that 2 weeks about, and what did you learn from that 2 weeks?
Yeah, thank you for this question. The first thing that we were taking, we wanted just, as an organization, we wanted to build the family that is without borders, whereby we can be able to bring each fellow, people who are impacted, who have been incarcerated, who have lived experiences, together, who are running different work in different organizations, and bring them together so that we can be able to learn from each other. But also to understand that the problems that we are experiencing are not far from each other, even though others might be privileged, than other countries. But the challenges that we face are not far from each other. That's the first thing. And us moving from different parts of the country, like moving them around, first it's a base of inspiration, with the work that they are already doing. You know, doing the work, working with the formerly incarcerated, sometimes it can be a lonely work. So, but bringing them together, understanding that, you know what, I've got a shared value with my partner here, so it inspires them. Also bringing them within the legacy of Nelson Mandela, within the legacy of Robert Sobukwe, you know, how they have planned, how they have done, and bring the country to what it is. So it was more like an inspirational and a place of healing for everyone.
No, it's a beautiful one, Tata. So another thing that I wanted to know, Mshewam, so if someone wants to be a part of this, I want you to motivate someone that is also discouraged, who's been in a similar situation, but they want to be part of a fellowship. I just want about Tetenabo and just advise them how to go about that. Abanye, they are just discouraged, but no, you know what, this life thing is not working out for me. I just want you to speak to them right now.
So the fellowship, it's the end result of the work that you choose to do to impact the society, whether working with the youth, whether working with the policy change makers, whether training people to find some jobs. So the fellowship becomes the end product of that. But what I can say for somebody who wants to take that first step towards change, you know, it's possible. You know, it all depends on you. It depends on you, how you think and how you see the future. So I always say to myself that when somebody asks me a question, if MT you should die today, how would you want to be remembered? And I said to myself, I do not want to be remembered as a person who makes the community cry. I do not want to be remembered as somebody who's a force of destruction, but I want to be remembered as a force of hope, as a person when you met with, your life meant something to you. Not your life was taken away. So that is the real reason. So the question that you need to ask yourself, how would you want to be remembered once you're no longer alive? So
The Mandela legacy, Tata.
Yes.
Why is it important that we should always remember what the old man went through? Why is it important? Because I see that a lot of people are now forgetting Tata and all those things. Why is it important from your point of view? Basi Kumbulu Tata and go forward with his legacy.
Yeah, the first thing that we need to, it's very important that we continue to remember the legacy. You know, in South Africa we've got a leadership IQ, whereby people never pass the skills. But when you have people that you can look up to, you are able to draw some strength, the capabilities and all the positivity. And then you look upon yourself and see which ones can I be able to apply so that you can be able to create a safer and a happier communities. So Tata Nelson Mandela, having have shaped and paved that road, we're able to look in his examples and say that, okay, this is a man that spent 27 years but overcome adversity. I can be able to overcome the challenges I'm facing so that I can be able to create safer communities.
It's a beautiful one. Tata Mteteleli, when we want to follow you or Sazi about this whole fellowship thing, where can we find information? Because a lot of people do not know. At least now I had the privilege of knowing about it.
Yes.
So how can people know about this as well?
So, Incarcerated Nations Network, it's on our Instagram, that's how we are, and Incarceration Nations Network on Facebook. And then our website, it's www.incarcerationnetwork.co.za.com, something like that.
Ezinjalo.
Yeah.
Jabulela mhlawam. And then when yakho xa sikufuna ke wena personal.
Yeah, and MT104, easy.
Yeah, MT104.
MT104.
Shekazwam, thank you very much for your time, sir.
My name is Khalil Scheidt. I'm from Holland. I work at an NGO and I have my own NGO, Stichting Silio.
Thank you. You were involved in the fellowship for the 2 weeks. I want you to tell me your experience and what was your takeaway from the 2 weeks.
A lot. As I said earlier, I learned so many things in these 2 weeks. I couldn't imagine that it would be so impactful and so great. I learned the most important thing that I take away is that we have so many things in common. We, as me and my other fellows, they came all around the world, and we have the same issues. We are from different countries, different cultures, but still we struggle with the same problems as society.
No. And your experience, how was it for you personally?
Personally, yeah, I felt really welcomed. I was touched by the stories of Nelson Mandela. I'm from the Netherlands, so I know a bit from the history of South Africa from school. But when I'm here, I heard the other side of the story, actually the real side. Yeah, I heard with people who've been through it. We just met this morning someone who worked with Nelson Mandela. So that was really touching. He was already a hero of mine, but now he's more than that. I mean, yeah, honored just being here, and my fellows, yeah, we got a bond for life now.
I love it.
We become real close. We've been through the same struggles, only in different places. And I think this is a great way that shows humanity.
It's a beautiful experience.
Yeah.
So for the next coming ones, this won't be the last one, I hope. So for the next coming ones, what do you want to see happening? Maybe changes or things that you would want to see maybe in the next fellowship that you would be having with your also your fellow men?
In the next fellowship, I want to see growth. This is just the beginning. We're just getting started. This is the first one. We're getting the movement going. We're trying to learn from each other. So the next one would be more advanced than this one, and the year after that would be bigger. And that's how you create a movement.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I hope. I hope we grow and get more impact around the world.
Is this your first time in South Africa?
Yes.
How was your experience in South Africa?
Yeah, I learned one new thing in South Africa. In Holland we have like the white people and the coloreds.
Yeah.
Here you have like the white people, the coloreds, and the black people.
Yeah.
That was new for me. But when it got explained, so I understand why it is as it is. But that's something new, and the contrast.
Yeah.
I think South Africa is really a nation of contrast, of really high, great highs, like presidents like Nelson Mandela, world leaders you produce as a country. But also lows like apartheid. So it was rich and poor the same. It is a big,
When given another opportunity to come back to South Africa, would you take it?
Yeah.
Did you love it?
Can I stay?
Yeah. Oh. I thank you very much, Baba. I think we are done. Thank you, Baba.
My name is John Pineda. I'm a co-founder and deputy director of a community-based organization known as Madiba, which stands for Motivating Individual Leadership for Public Advancement.
Perfect. So what does it mean to you, John, to be affiliated with such a program?
You know, it means the world to me, in all actuality. It's like a dream that I never even knew I had, right? It feels as if I've been re-embraced into society, a society that our society does not deem as being a part of it, right? My brothers, sisters, loved ones that I see looking around, and it means the opportunity to be involved in the movement for social justice on a global scale. A lot of times we think local, we think regional, we think national, but in all actuality, the issues that impact South Africa are not foreign to the issues that are impacting individuals in the United States as well. There may be a huge discrepancy at times in wealth and living conditions, and that is something that we're not foreign to as well. You know, we're accustomed to being deemed as, you know, like the gum that's stuck on the bottom of your shoe. You want to just wipe it off and get it away from you and never have that stuck to you again. But the reality is we are a part of society. You know, we are human beings. Although we may be human beings that may not have walked the path that everybody else deems to be right, but it was right for us at the time. And a lot of us are very remorseful. We're very apologetic for the things that we had to do to survive. And we committed ourselves to not do those things, to no longer engage in that type of activity, and to engage in activity that is going to be healthy, motivational, inspirational, and conducive to liberation of the people, not only physically, but mentally and spiritually, emotionally as well.
Powerful. So for the 2 weeks, was it 2 weeks?
Yes,
that you were
2
in?
weeks.
So what did you learn, and what was your takeaway?
You know, I can't just identify one singular thing that I've learned. I've learned a plethora of things, but one of the main things at its core being that prison is kind of the last stop, right? A lot of us have encountered so many systems and institutions before we even hit that prison complex. We may have been failed by the foster care system. We may have been failed by the educational system, the healthcare system, the economic divide that we're all subjected to. So I take away so many lessons and learnings that have to do with community mobilization, that have to do with viewing one another as I stated earlier, not just brothers and sisters from other mothers, but brothers and sisters from the same mother, which is Mother Earth. I look at everybody else, I see myself, and I can only hope that they see the same.
To be involved with this Mandela thing, how well do you know the man? I know you have not met him.
Yes, yeah.
But how well do you know about the man?
Mandela was, being incarcerated, we considered ourselves political prisoners. Based on the way that society viewed us and based on the way that we viewed the governing bodies, Mandela was seen as a figure of revolution, and not the revolution that people get scared of, right? Which is armed revolution and all of that, which was part of the history, right? And we cannot deny that fact. But a revolutionary mind state that really contributes to the uplifting of a people's, the no longer settling for the crumbs of society or fighting over the crumbs of society amongst ourselves, actually wanting to take a seat at the table. Because as our elders told us, if you're not at the table, you're going to end up being on the menu.
Oh yeah. And the experience in South Africa, how has South Africa been to you?
Man, South Africa has been nothing but warm and loving to me. I've been embraced. I was offered an African name. I was welcomed. Yeah, I was welcomed with that drum. So many smiles and so many handshakes, warm embraces. And it's something that I'm really not accustomed to, right? In the United States, a lot of people just ignore one another. We just push on past, and don't have time for anybody else. I mean, I go to the hotel, for instance, and there's just smiles, bright smile. How are you doing today, sir? I asked for an ironing board this morning, and before I even, I asked the question, it was like, how are you doing today, sir? I mean, just real humanity. At its core, that's all I can equate it to, is just that warmth, care, embrace that you only get inside of one's household, at least as far as I was concerned. And I feel like I'm stepping into my house every time I walk into somewhere here in South Africa.
So given the opportunity, would you come back?
Oh, definitely. I'm trying to get my family to come back over here.
Judging the way that you speak, you're so comfortable and you can better articulate your points succinctly so and clearly so. Are you a motivational speaker or do you read a lot?
I read a lot. We're very heavy on education inside of our organization. We always tell ourselves that, discipline and rigor is going to take you so far, right? You cannot be complacent. You got to focus on not only sharpening the body. A lot of people like to work out and run and all of that stuff, but your mind has to be sharp as well. We ask each other, what are you reading? What is the literature that you're exposing yourself to? And what are the conversations that you're having? I run into a lot of people, and police officers too, that'll tell me, wow, you're so articulate, you're so this and you're so that. Why would you assume that I would not? Just based on the way that I look. And also at the same time, do I have to present myself? Do I have to speak in a certain manner just to be accepted? Not everybody is able to articulate themselves, such as myself, right? I've been blessed by the Creator, right? But those that have not been blessed with that may have additional gifts that they have to offer. Mine is just one of oration.
I love that. Baba, if we want to follow you on the socials, where can we get hold of you and your organization for that matter?
Well, at milpacollective.org. That's our website. At Milpa Collective is going to be every one of our handles: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. That's going to be all of it myself personally. I don't really engage in social media because I really just don't have time for it, right?
A very busy man.
Yes, sir.
Baba John, thank you very much for your time, Baba.
Thank you all so much. I appreciate it, brother.
My name is Awande Mshotana. I am from Cape Town. I currently facilitate a paralegal course through People's Law, a non-profit NGO based in Cape Town. I obtained an LLB degree during incarceration, and I managed to obtain that degree with cum laude distinction. And through that degree, I'm able now to to plow back to the community by being one of the key facilitators of the paralegal course that we are giving to various community leaders in and around Cape Town, not only based in communities, but not only based in townships, but also from varying from Boerkaap, the heritage site called Boerkaap. We have an activist from Boerkaap, from Woodstock, from Tukailicha, Nyanga, Kukuletu, and so on.
I love it. So the fellowship, what is it about for someone like me who doesn't know what does it entail? What did you learn in the 2 weeks? I also heard that you were talking about the 2 weeks that you were going through an intense thing. So I just want to know what does it entail, at least that 2 weeks?
Yeah.
What's it about?
Yeah. So the Global Freedom Fellowship, its main intention was to bring together global leaders, people from different countries who are working in the criminal justice reform space or social justice reform, but specifically focusing on formerly incarcerated and currently incarcerated people. So we call ourselves as formerly incarcerated people experienced experts. So no one can tell the story of incarceration better than us, because we have the lived experience of incarceration. So us coming together from different perspectives of the world and different continents, we were able within the 2 weeks to share our stories, number one, and to share who we are, our backgrounds, where we come from. And within the 2 weeks there were intense discussions and also a lot of solutions that came through, such as international collaborations.
I love it.
Us trying to implement policy change in governments around the world, and also maybe try to approach the UN to actually have some of these experienced experts in key positions of advising governments on how to handle issues ranging from crime, poverty, unemployment, socio-economic issues of around the world. Yeah.
And what was your takeaway?
My biggest takeaway was that South Africa is not unique, that the world, anywhere you go, whether it's Europe, whether it's the USA or South America, we all experience the same.
Yeah.
There's abject poverty, they experience crime, they experience drugs, and it's just that we're just too far away from each other and we speak different languages, so we can't really connect. And through the Global Freedom Fellowship, we were able to connect through this common ground of being experienced experts. And the biggest takeaway from me is just to say, look, what is happening in South Africa is not unique, and actually I need to do more, or we need to do more as fellows, especially in South Africa, because for example, those from New York, they have so many programs, and they even have partnerships with the state governor of New York. They even get funding from the government itself, which is something that is not happening in South Africa in terms of reintegration. And they've got this unique program where there's formerly incarcerated individuals and also people who are gang affiliated. They join together with law and policy makers, from your governors to your directors. Because they join into one class and then they discuss policy changes. And there's been a lot of policy changes because it's coming from experienced experts, and with those who actually have the power to implement these policies and change these policies. And most of these people in their official government capacities, some of them actually resigned from their roles because of the stories that they were hearing, and started off their own individual careers away from government.
That was a mouthful. That's it for me. Thank you very much for your time, Baba.
Okay.